Natural events such as climate warmth or cooling, as well as changes in sea levels, can trigger animal extinction. Human behavior, on the other hand, has been blamed in more recent times. The main cause of modern extinctions, along with pollution, the introduction of foreign species, and overfishing or hunting is habitat destruction as cultivated area increases and forests are cut down. However, climate change is increasingly being blamed for extinctions. Some of these extinct animals are extinct for good, while others are being saved through conservation efforts. The majority of extinct animal lists only cover species that have died off in the last 100 years. 10. Sabre-toothed cat. The sabre-toothed cat, also known as the sabre-toothed tiger, is one of the last animals you'd want to meet in a dark corner on any given day. It thrived in North America and Europe for around 10,000 years before becoming extinct. Thousands of saber-toothed cat samples have been discovered at the famous La Brea tar pits near Los Angeles, California. The saber-toothed cat had a social hierarchy similar to modern lions, living together and working to hunt down prey, according to evidence. 9. Seychelles giant tortoise. The Seychelles gigantic tortoise, like related tortoise species on other Indian Ocean islands, was driven to extinction in the 19th century. It only existed on the edges of swamps and rivers, feeding on foliage, until it was wiped out in the wild by the 1840s. In 2011, the research found a population of 28 adult tortoises in captivity, as well as 8 adults and 40 babies brought to an island, all of which could be Seychelles giant tortoises. Jonathan, a 187-year-old Seychelles tortoise on St. Helena Island, was just inducted into the Guinness World Records as the world's longest surviving land mammal. 8. Chinese paddlefish. The Yangtze and Yellow rivers in China were home to huge freshwater paddlefish. The now extinct maritime animal, sometimes known as the Chinese swordfish, had a long, slender nose that looked like a sword but was flatter and longer. The typical individual in their prime measured about 9.8 feet, 3 meters, which is quite enormous for a freshwater species. 7. Passenger pigeon. The passenger or wild pigeon is a North American bird that has been extinct since the early 20th century. When Europeans arrived in North America, an estimated 3 to 5 billion passenger pigeons roamed the continent, but their colonization resulted in vast deforestation, habitat loss, and a decline in the bird population. Pigeon meat was promoted as cheap sustenance for the poor by the 19th century, resulting in widespread hunting. By roughly 1900, the passenger pigeon was extinct in the wild, with the last recorded bird dying in captivity in 1914. 6. Woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth, that gigantic shaggy beast with long ivory tusks snaking out from its enormous trunk-like nose, has to be the species most associated with the Ice Age. The woolly mammoth was one of the numerous mammoth species, the first of which were likely small amphibious beasts that lived in North Africa until around 3 million years ago. The last woolly mammoths died out some 10,000 years ago, at the conclusion of the last ice age. 5. The dodo. According to all accounts, the dodo's beautiful life came to an end in the 1600s, when European settlers settled in Mauritius, the Indo-Pacific island where the dodo had built its habitat. It would only be a few years after their arrival before the animal was killed and eaten to extinction, partly because it provided a much-needed source of meat for tired sailors. Furthermore, the pigs, dogs, and rats that invariably accompanied sailing ships devoured dodo eggs, which were all too easily obtainable from their ground nests. The dodo was doomed from the start. 4. Tasmanian tiger. Tasmanian tigers were meat-eating vertebrates who spent their days in caverns and their evenings hunting kangaroos, wallabies, small mammals, and raccoons. The species is thought to have experienced a serious decrease around 2,000 years ago. In 1933, naturalists captured the last wild Tasmanian tiger and brought it to confinement. There have been roughly a dozen reported sightings since then, but no wildlife cams have captured any. Tasmanian tigers had the appearance of suave edgy jackals with a dash of zebra, and they held their young in kangaroo-style pouches. 3. Golden toad. When it comes to extinction, the golden toad is an outstanding animal in many respects. These 2-inch long toads were first described to science in 1966 and were previously common in a 30 square mile area of the cloud forest above Monteverde, Costa Rica, have not been seen since 1989. The cause of its abrupt demise is unknown, but habitat loss and the chytrid fungus are most likely to blame. Regional weather changes are also thought to have contributed to the extinction of the last of the golden toads. 2. Quagga. The quagga is a creature that looks like a cross between horses and zebras. It resembles a mix between a horse and a zebra, with stripes on its head and neck that fade as they approach the animal's brownish hindquarters. The quagga was a South African desert animal that was hunted to extinction in the 1870s. In Europe, the last caged animals perished in the 1880s. The quagga has also been the subject of an extensive breeding attempt by the appropriately called Quagga Project, with a foal produced in 2005 as a result. Just one quagga, a female at the London Zoo in 1870, was ever filmed. 1. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrannosaurus Rex, the most ferocious predator that ever walked the earth, stands at the top of our list at number 1. Its fossil remnants are known to school children and grown-ups from all around the world as the deadliest creature that ever walked the planet. One glance at the remnants of this vicious creature sends chills down the spine of anyone contemplating time travel to the Cretaceous period. Standing about 40 feet long, it had a huge head and mouth parts that could have eaten an adult person in a single bite. So, why did Tyrannosaurus Rex and the other dinosaurs become extinct if they were so formidable? This is one of paleontology's biggest questions, although research from the fossil record indicates that dinosaurs and most other living species on the globe at the time were wiped off by a cataclysmic catastrophe such as a meteor impact or volcanic eruption. Anyway, that's it for our top 10 animals that are extinct. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please share your views and opinions in the comments box below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos like this to help us grow. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you again in the next video.